On April 28, the China's Long March 5B, also known as Chang Zheng-5B, was successfully placed in the Earth orbit. This rocket is roughly 30 meter long and 5 meter in diameter, is named as Long March 5B, and after its launch in the last week of April, the scientists are now worried that where its debris is going to hit on Earth. Well, stay tuned with us to know what happens when a space debris crashes on Earth. If you like our video, then please support us with a thumbs up, subscribe to Gateway to Knowledge and hit the bell icon to get notified about our upcoming videos. On an average, about 200 to 400 tracked objects enter our atmosphere every year. A few weeks ago, second stage of a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket made an uncontrolled re-entry in the Earth's atmosphere after launching from the launch pad. But now, the scientists are expecting the core stage of a Chinese Long March 5B rocket to do the same in the next few days. At this stage, it is hard to say with 100% certainty how, where, and when the bits of rocket will come down. But the European Space Agency is trying to track its path back to Earth. It is because that the Long March 5B rocket stage is built without a steering booster, stabilization system and restart-able engine. Not only this, but the re-entry of this Long March 5 core stage was the heaviest of its kind in more than 20 years. Because the actual mass of the rocket is not known yet, so it becomes more difficult to estimate its path. This is an important fact because you would usually want to control the way in which you deorbit any spacecraft, be it part of a rocket or old satellite, to make sure you control where and when it lands. And since China's Long March 5 rockets appear to use uncontrolled re-entries by design, it's got the rest of the world's space community watching eagerly. Long March 5B is carrying the first module, known as Tian, or Harmony of the Heavens, for its new modular space station. This module, Tian, will actually be the control hub of the China's space station called Tiangong. Without the ability to restart its engines, the core stage will be dragged towards Earth by increasing collisions with molecules in the Earth's atmosphere. Atmospheric changes and other variables and the high velocity of the stage mean that accurate predictions of when and where the stage will re-enter are not possible until a few hours before the event. But the scientists have actually calculated some of the predictions that can help to track the path of the rocket back to Earth. The Long March 5B core stage has an orbital inclination of 41.5 degrees, which means the rocket body passes a little farther north than New York, Madrid, and Beijing and as far south as southern Chile and Wellington, New Zealand, and could make its re-entry at any point within this area. The ESA's space debris team have currently estimated that this spacecraft will re-enter Earth's atmosphere on May 9 at about 5:23 p.m. Universal Time Coordinated. That's about 1:23 a.m. on May 10 in Beijing. But such predictions have a typical uncertainty window of about 20%. Which means the estimated time of arrival is more or less 26.44 hours around that time. Moreover, it's also virtually impossible to say where the spacecraft will come down. Previously, Skylab, which was an American space station, crashed back to Earth in 1979, and it got disintegrated over a populated area in rural Australia. Some of its part fell into the Indian Ocean as well. Because the estimated weight of the Long March 5B is greater than 10 tons, previous rockets that fall back to Earth were less than this. Salyut 7, which was a Soviet-Russian space station, STS-107 was an American space shuttle that broke up during re-entry, killing all crew, and Fobos-Grunt was also a Russian probe that re-entered back into the Earth atmosphere, but had weight less than 10 tons. China has had a lot of success in space in recent years, with world-first moon landings and returning rock samples to Earth. But it's not all been good. In 2018, a prototype for the new Chinese space station also crashed to Earth. It came down in the Pacific Ocean after China lost control of it. So, if this is going to strike at any habitated spot on Earth, then there would be definitely great destruction.